Good evening, everybody. Okie dokie, Denise Carr, Pippadot, calling the cat lady. Sorry about your father, Okie dokie. Pray for him. I hope we all had a wonderful weekend. Pippadot. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Glad you can make it tonight. Where's everybody? Good evening, Colleen the cat lady. What did you do today? Pippadot. Well, I've been getting ready because I'm taking off this week. I am getting the heck out of Dodge, as they would say. I'm getting ready to getting everything ready to get out to leave town. I made it tonight. Colleen 41. Good evening. Not sure how long I will stay. Just excited to be here. Well, I'm glad you can make it, Colleen. Colleen 41. There's two Colleens. But I'm getting ready to leave this next coming weekend. I'm going to be gone. For the true crime trivia, I have a video that is set to actually play during the time that I'm normally going to be here online at 7 p.m. And then I'll read the question and the four possible answers, and then there's like a 3-minute time window in between, when I reveal the answer. But and then the next question, so on. But 30 questions. The video's already done. It's already set to launch next Sunday. But I will not be anywhere near a Wi-Fi cellular coverage. So I do. I need the break. I need to kind of deprogram, whatever you might call it, but to just relax and let it all go. Excuse me. But that's next Sunday. This Sunday, though, tonight we have general crime trivia tonight. 30 questions that are already prepared and ready to go. My brother's keeper, welcome. I hope you had a good weekend. You went to high school with 425 kids and one other Colleen. Marilyn, welcome. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, Marilyn. Glad you could be here tonight to play True Crime Trivia with us. These are all general crime trivia questions. Give it about another minute here, and then we're going to get going on this. But unless next Saturday, instead of having it, I may not be able to do a Saturday morning, live next weekend, unless I can find some way to get a cellular signal. That ain't gonna happen. My friend is looking into getting I guess they call it a repeater or something like that, a Wi-Fi repeater. I don't know. Where we go, it's in the Cascade Mountains. So there's a town there, but during the touristy months, there's probably a couple hundred people who are in and out of that area. But otherwise, your cell phone is just basically, a paperweight in your pocket. Fritz Holmes, welcome. Scatty Nona, welcome. Hope you both had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us tonight. Glad you could be here. I will, Colleen. I need to kind of like relax and just kind of let all this go. It's this, I sit here every day, for the most part. I read about the most disgusting things that people do to each other every day. And after a while, it kind of gets to you. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and start off with question number 1. First question for tonight for True Crime Trivia. How many Americans filed police reports over identity theft in 2009, even though the number is believed to be double or triple what was reported? Was it A, 1 million, B, 2 million, C, 3 million, or D, 650,572? How many Americans filed police reports over identity theft in 2019? Hey, Jeannie. Have a coffee on me in the AM. I got to run. Bye, my brother's keeper. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Did I say Jeannie again? I think I did. Jenny. I don't know why I see that, and then mine just goes blank. Told y'all I need this vacation bad. I'm lucky I can even read anymore. How many Americans filed police reports over identity theft in 2019 alone, even though the number is believed to be double or triple what was reported? Got a couple D's, C, D. To the Hutchinsons. I don't know. It's spelled differently from the way you have it spelled there. Theirs has got a I think it's a TREVIIE or ITT. Spelled pretty close though. To the James Hutchinson's grandparents. Baby, can you make a connection with Ohio? I mean, my last name is Finley, Finley, and part of my family that came in from Ireland, when they came through Ellis Island, two brothers, same ship that came in from through Ellis Island. One got his last name, the last name of Finley, Finley, and one they dropped the L on, and he became a Finney. Coming through Ellis Island, two brothers. So you never know. Sometimes changing of spelling, little things like that happen as people immigrated to America. I need to change it. Photo scares people. The doll, I like it. I think in my maternal grandfather's. So you never know, though, when it comes to the spelling of the last name like Trivette. It could be. Hi, Diana. Welcome. All right. How many Americans filed police reports over identity theft in 2019? The correct answer is D, as in dog. 650,572 filed a police report over identity theft. According to the FBI and their statistics, only normally when it comes to identity theft, only 1 in 3 is normally reported to the police. Now, this could be anybody from, that your identity was stolen on internet to someone in your family actually stole your identity. 1 in 3 are actually reported. So 650,000 reported a case of identity theft in 2019 alone. Hello, Chris. Welcome to True Crime Trivia. I'm glad you could be here tonight. I hope you had a wonderful week and weekend. Don't forget the weekend. I thought that said 650 million. No, 650,000. 650 million. I mean, you never know. A lot of people have their identity stolen. I have had somebody use my social security number twice. Once, somebody used it to buy a boat. And the other time, somebody used it to actually get an apartment in Yonkers, New York. Someplace Yonkers. I think it was in New York. So I had to put a restriction on my actual social security number. And it turns out in both cases, the names on the credit file don't even match me. It's not my name. It's just my social security number. That's happened twice to me in my lifetime. All right, question number two. As he was brought to the electric chair to be put to death, which serial killer had 29 needles hidden on his body? Was it A, John Wayne Gacy, B, Ted Bundy, C, Albert Fish, or D, Jeffrey Dahmer? As he was being brought to the electric chair to be put to death, this serial killer had 29 needles hidden on his body. Chris is going with Pip with the Albert Fish. Pip Dot going with Albert Fish. A lot of C's and some D's. Denise is going with B, Ted Bundy. 29 needles. Where the hell did a serial killer, or anybody on death row get 29 needles? That's the question I had when I read this one. And by the way, all the questions tonight, except for 2, come from biography.com. Short Nice. If I didn't say hello, Short Nice, I'm sorry. Welcome to the True Crime Trivia night, Short Nice. All right. As he was being brought to the electric chair to be put to death, which serial killer had 29 needles hidden on his body? The correct answer, everyone, is C, as in cat. Albert Fish. He had 29 hypodermic needle tips hidden all over on his body. He had them in the waistband of his underwear, in his jumpsuit. He had them in his shirt. They were hidden all over him. Don't know why. I read that and I was like, why? Maybe he was hoping that it was, that somehow that was going to stop the electrocution. But Albert Fish is the correct answer for question number 2. Question number 3. What was the number one committed crime during the U.S. COVID-19 shutdown? Was it A, drunk driving, B, murder, C, check fraud, or D, larceny? What was the number one committed crime during the U.S. COVID shutdown? You had a fetish for needles. Hi, Zelda. I don't know if you got my text message, sweetheart. I just got home. What? For a spark? Yeah, I have no idea why he did it. Sometimes people do stuff that just makes you scratch your head and you're like, what? Why did you do that? Hi, Mary Frederick. Welcome to True Crime Trivia tonight. These are all 30 questions, multiple choice, that are displayed on the screen. The possible answers are right there in front of you, along with the question. And I welcome you, and I hope that you have fun tonight. What was the number one committed crime during the U.S. COVID-19 shutdown? You have to see his x-ray. Bex, welcome. How are you doing, Bex? Hi, Karen. Welcome to both of you. I hope you both had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us tonight. Is larceny theft with a weapon? Sketty Nona, I'm not sure. Larceny and theft are pretty close, so I'm not sure if it has to have an enhancement with a weapon. I'm not sure. And they're, when it comes to U.S. law, I mean, larceny in one state may be different from larceny in another state. But I would think larceny and theft are pretty close to each other, for how they're categorized. But Carson Carr, busy frames. The needles were probably the last effort to inflict pain on the people handling his body. They're definitely not stopping him from frying. Valid point there, Carson Carr, and welcome. James Taylor, good evening, sir. Larceny is closer to robbery. Okay. I mean, like I said, that in some states the laws are worded a little bit differently. So, but what was the number one most committed crime during the U.S. COVID-19 shutdown? Pretty in Camo, welcome. And Sarah Thomas, welcome. The correct answer is D, larceny. Larceny, theft, robbery, whatever. But that was the number one most committed crime during the U.S. COVID-19 shutdown. Google says larceny is theft of personal property. There you go. See? I would, I don't know the law all that well. I think you'd have to ask an attorney to get the exact definition, but just know that's obviously the trivia question on biography, so I picked it. All right, question number 4. What branch of the military did Timothy James McVeigh serve in? Was it A, in the Air Force, B, the Space Force, C, the Navy, or D, the U.S. Army? Timothy McVeigh. In case you don't remember Timothy McVeigh, he was part of the duo of the Oklahoma City bombing. I think James is actually right. I mean, you would think that but I think they're counting on the actual arrests. And I know, like, for a lot of instances, I know in my local area, when it came to driving offenses during the early parts of the COVID shutdown, You couldn't get a cop to, to pull you over for speeding or drunk driving or anything. And it was scary out there because they didn't know. They didn't know how to keep officers safe. So they kind of just took that hands-off approach. They stopped writing people for expired tabs or stopping them because everything was closed. You couldn't get new tabs or new plates anywhere, at least in my state. In the state that I live in, you have to every 2 years, even if the plate is in perfect condition, every 2 years you have to go buy a new license plate. You don't get to keep them, and the plate goes with the car, after it's sold, unless it's a personalized or a vanity, what they call vanity plate. It's the only time you get to keep them. Chris is going with F, terrorist. He definitely was a homegrown terrorist, wasn't he? Pretty Camo is going E, bomb squad. Yeah. Larceny is a crime involving an unlawful taking or theft of personal property of another person or business. Thank you, Zelda. And Zelda is a retired law enforcement. So I will go with her definition. Thank you, Zelda. You're going to go after that purple chair. She bought another one today, Zelda. I came home and found it in my living room. It's not purple like this one. This one is, it's about half of the height of this one, the new one she just got, and it's got like a flower pattern to it. I think it's ugly as sin, but I think she said she paid like $10 for it. Yeah. That's larceny. I read Zelda's Peppa Duck. Okay, what branch of the U.S. military did Timothy James McVeigh serve in? He served in the Army. D is the correct answer. Army. Question number 5. Is the image blurry or is it just me? I hope it's not blurry, everyone. I'm using a 4K camera right now. It is a Canon PowerShot SK730. Chairs can be upholstered, or you can put a really big throw blanket on it. That's what I'm going to do. But it's not for in here. She bought it. She's trying to make like this little nook in the living room where she's got like a coffee table, like in table thing where she can sit and have her morning tea and relax. So, and she wanted it for that area. She's going to move furniture around. Well, I'm going to move furniture around. and then, as she wants it all configured, I'm just the manual labor. All right, question number 5. What room in the average U.S. home is second for the most homicides committed? Is it A, the bedroom, B, the bathroom, B, the bedroom, C, the living room, or D, the garage? Where is the second most likely place in the U.S. home to be murdered? Are you taking your 4-year-old on vacation with you, Will? No. Just me. I'm leaving town. I'm going to Moses Lake, Washington, to visit friends first. Then I am going from there to Centralia, Washington, to visit more friends. And then we're playing in a golf tournament next weekend. Then it's kind of like a pro-am. Some of the people are professional golfers that each person is getting partnered with, or they're a local or a somewhat famous individual. I'm playing with Jerry Hopkins, who is a former PGA touring golf pro. He is a 1 handicap at this course that we're playing in. Well, not me, but It's for charity. We're raising money for lymphoma and for two people who have cancer. So it's kind of to help like defer their medical costs. So. Mary Frederick is C, guessing bath bedroom is first. No, the number one most likely place to be murdered in your home is the kitchen. So stay out of the kitchen. Kitchen is number one, but we're looking for the number two most likely place to be murdered in your home. You are correct, Pippadot. We had the number one question before, which was the kitchen. We are number two now. We are looking for the second. And if you remember that one, I told everybody what they have. The top five are. And then, as you can see, there are four here. And the kitchen's not on there. So these are the most likely places to be murdered in your own home. Mary Frederick, you go with what was your guess? Gotta look up. She's guessing the bedroom. All right. The second most likely place in your home to be murdered is B, bedroom. The bedroom is number two. Hi, S. Brooks. Good evening. How are you doing? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Jenny, you got it right. Changing your answer to the bedroom. The bedroom is the second most likely place you are to be murdered in your home. I'm good. Haven't been around for a while. I know. I missed you. I hope you've been doing well. All right. Going on to question number 6. Who wrote the murder mystery In Cold Blood? Was it A, Truman Capote, B, Stephen King, C, Anne Rule, or D, Anne Rice? Who wrote the murder mystery In Cold Blood? That does it. I ain't going to sleep in my bedroom ever again. Yeah, if I don't think Larry's going to kill you, sweetheart. You read that book, Chris? It's a good book. It really is. I have a copy in the house. You've read it 3 times. Well, that's more than me. I've only read it once. I didn't read it not too long ago. It was probably about a year ago, just right around the time that this, all this COVID, shit started happening. Excuse my language, but I've never seen the movie. Everyone should read it. RRH, you're here. I'm here. Good evening, sir. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. You know why it's the bedrooms? Because every time I look in the mirror, my reflection kills me. Oh. Stephanie Fisher, good evening, and welcome to True Crime Trivia. We are on question number 6 out of 30, and you will see the question on the screen and the 4 possible answers. Every one of the questions are multiple choice. Cheryl, good evening, sweetheart. How are you? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Pippa Dot is going with Truman Capote for answer to question number 6. Who wrote the murder mystery In Cold Blood? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is A, Truman Capote. Starfire, good evening. Interview fellow Truman was. Interesting or interview? There's a real fantastic documentary about the Coulter murders on Sunday. It's called Cold Blood. Sorry to hear about your my doggy. Yeah, Cheryl, but he had a long life. Almost, I said 24 years, but he was 2 months shy of 24 years. He will be truly missed. He will be truly missed. He was a good dog. He lived a long life, a life that I don't think he would have lived anywhere else and had the same quality of life or long life like he did. But thank you. All right, question number 7. Boom. A crime is a crime. How many U.S. branches of the government make a profit? Meaning they make more money, more income than they spend to run that branch of the government. How many branches of the U.S. government make a profit? Is it A, 1, B, 0, C, 8, or D, 2? How many branches of the U.S. government make a profit? Knives, yes. All right, thank you, Diana. In the kitchen. I think I have. There's a really interesting statistic about that. I think I might actually have that in here in this notebook. I've got so many of these things that are just filled full of trivia questions that we've done before. I used to write the entire question out, and then put them on the screen as you see them. Moments in Trading, good evening. Welcome to the True Crime Trivia tonight. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Well, anyways, I do believe when it comes to statistics, though, where most arguments in a family between a husband and wife or two domestic partners, whenever an argument breaks out, I think it's the kitchen is like number 1, and like the living room is like number 2, or maybe it's the other way around. Living room's number 1 in arguments. So it doesn't match up exactly where the homicide is. It's like, well, here's where the argument starts, and here's where the homicide is. You can see the pattern of how it actually follows. A crime is a crime. How many U.S. branches of the government make a profit? Meaning they make more income than they spend to run the branch of government. That branch of government. Prisons are, there's for profit in the private sector. Pippa Dot's guessing D. Seems like it should be 0. You might be shocked. Starfire is going to C. Move my mouse over here. I can actually scroll up and down. Chris, back. Prisons are bleeding tax money. That's why they are mostly private now. In a lot of situations, I think that there a lot of places are actually getting away from the for-profit prison system. But then other places are expanding more into the for-profit jails and prisons. You can tell who doesn't trust the government. S. Brooks said it. And if not the prison, that's for sure. Food, laundry, cleaning, etc., is all definitely privatized. So thank you. All right. How a crime is a crime. How many U.S. branches of the government make a profit? Mean they make more income than they spend to run that branch of the government. Question number 7. The correct answer is A. 1. One branch of the federal government, the U.S. government, makes a profit. And you'll never guess which one it is. Anybody want to take a guess? Well, we can guarantee we don't guess prisons because prisons are not profitable. Even with the ridiculous amount of money they charge for people to be there. Prisons are not profitable. All right. The only branch of the U.S. government that makes a profit, ladies and gentlemen, is the United States Post Office. It's an absolute fact. Now, every year, like just around the time of the elections, we heard about the United States Post Office is losing millions of dollars every year. There's a reason behind that, why they are not profitable right now. The United States Congress passed a law into effect that said that they needed to prepay the next 10 years of retirement benefits and healthcare benefits for every single postal worker that is currently on the job. So they needed to put this giant nest egg of cash together and prepay the retirement benefits for 10 years down the road. That's why they're not profitable. The United States Post Office is the only branch of the United States government that does not lose money every single year. Proven fact. The post office is not a whole government agency anymore. They are considered a branch of the U.S. government. I thought like the IRS would have been profitable. But aren't they profitable? Internal Revenue Service? Why aren't they profitable? But the post office was never meant to be profitable until they had a huge nest egg of cash, and then we kept on borrowing it from them, just like Social Security. Kept on borrowing the money from them. We haven't paid it back. That's why Social Security is broke, because we haven't paid back the money we took out of it. Just like the post office, they'd be profitable if we went to taking the money back out of it and then spent it on other things. We do it every year. All right, question number 8. Who is Louis Greatfell? Who is Louis Greatfell? Is he A, murderer, B, an FBI agent, C, the ex-husband of a female killer, or D, a heavy metal drummer? Who is Louis Greatfell? Before the United States Post Office, Moments in Trading, it was Pony Express, and then the smaller independent branches. But there wasn't a federalized force. I know Ben Franklin was one of the first ones to start a lottery. He started one of the very first federalized lotteries. He helped to raise money so we could print money. The post office just announced that I think that this year, October or something like that, they're going to start slowing the delivery rates for first class mail. Instead of it being 2 to 4 days, it's going to be up to 7 days now. Ooh, Chris says, married to Elaine Wuornos. Your grandfather was postmaster. My grandmother was a postmaster, and she worked for the United States Post Office for like 30-some years, 35 years, something like that, before she got injured. It's a very respectful, profession. And in a lot of aspects, people just don't appreciate them. The United States, you just kind of get used to the mail just coming. It may be bringing you nothing but bills and junk mail all the time, but that junk mail is what keeps the rates, cheap. Move to Canada, mail a letter there, or in the UK. It costs a lot of money. Our mail carrier is the very best in the world. She leaves us cute little cards, notes, gifts. Even gave me $100 for my mask making charity. Who does that? I don't know. That's a really cool, mail carrier you have there, Zelda. Oh, it started when it was the Pony Express. My grandmother was postmaster in, it would have been the Little Falls, Minnesota, that's where she lived. It would have been the Brainerd or St. Clair, one of those states, upstate Minnesota. She was the postmaster there. She's gone now. She passed away a year ago. Yeah, something like that. A little over a year ago. Broken Justice. Good evening. Your postman is stealing your packages. Sorry about that. But welcome to True Crime Trivia tonight, Broken Justice. Tough weather in Minnesota. Yeah. I'm from Wisconsin. Born and raised in Wisconsin, and lived part of my life in Minnesota. Now I live out in the west, in Washington State. But Cliff Clavin, the man of a million useless facts. All right, who is Louis Great Fowl? He was Elaine's former husband. So the correct answer is C, the ex-husband of a female killer. And that's kind of a misnomer. Ex-husband, yes, they were legally married, but he had the marriage annulled. So, but I guess he technically is the ex-husband of Elaine. So if you answered C, you got it correct. C as in cat. Question number 9. How many missing children reports are taken each year in the U.S. alone? How many missing children reports? Is it A, 1 million, B, 800,000, C, 600,000, or D, 3.5 million? How many missing children reports are taken each year in the U.S.? $29 DKK. Wow. I can mail a letter or a postcard. What is it? Like a buck? $1.25. I don't know. I don't even know how much a forever stamp is now. I individually. I mean, I know how much a book of stamps are. How many? I don't even know how many stamps are in a book. It's been a while since I bought a book because I used we have a Pitney Bowes mail station for mailing letters and postage and stuff like that. My daughter used it for doing her internet business, but I just stack them in there and it feeds them through and then I mail them off. Oh my God, it's just too many, no matter the answer. If it is, as Brooks. 55 cents. Wow, so many. What makes some so talked about on YouTube? They all should be. How many missing children reports are taken each year in the U.S. alone? Yeah, 20 stamps in the book. I used to buy them on the roll. I don't even think you can buy them on the roll anymore. At least at my post office. I think that you have to buy them in either sheets or in the books. If they have them on the rolls anymore, I mean, I haven't seen them. Well, one of these days you got to hear about a family murder. He's going to end up in prison for murder. He is just a psycho, just like Morpheus. Wow. You like buying pretty stamps? You can buy a roll of stamps for $50 a roll. I don't know if they have. Maybe they just don't have them here at my post office. Because every time I buy stamps, they always ask me. They lay out like the little mat that's on the counter. All the commemorative stamps and collectible stamps and whatever they have. I'm buying like a book of stamps. I'm not buying a sheet. But how many missing children reports are taken each year in the U.S. alone? The correct answer is B, as in boy. 800,000 missing children reports are taken each and every year in the U.S. alone. The children who are on the internet, a lot are forced honestly, there's so much to put up after the fact. Also, the blonde, blue-eyed factor. Yeah. Question number 10. Of the 800,000 missing children reports missing each year in the U.S., how many percentage are eventually found and returned home? Is it A, 99%, B, 16%, C, 83%, or D, 17.25%? What percentage of the 800,000 children that are reported missing are returned home eventually? I follow the Olsen boys. I've been following the Orrin and Orson West, and obviously James Hutchinson. It's only two cases I've been following now. There's one. It's out of Idaho that came across my desk the other day. I went to go click on it, but the damn link didn't work. I only got like the first two sentences. But some boy, I guess he's been missing in Idaho for like a week, something like that now, 8 days. New glasses, heartbreaking. Is your video wonky tonight, or do I need new glasses? It might be your internet feed, Cheryl, because everything is looking perfect on my end from here. It's in 4K. I don't know what it's transmitting through on YouTube, but I'm shooting in 4K. Well, it has, but you can check on go over to Duty Ron channel over on YouTube. He's been following the Orrin and Orson West case pretty closely. I just haven't had the time to kind of keep up with it. I try to catch and listen to his live streams or his videos while I'm driving. Try to listen to it. I put it on my phone and just put it in the little cubby thing so I can actually hear it through the speakers of in the car. My feed is pretty blurry as well. I'm sorry, Brooks. It's a little bit blurry, kind of for me. I'm sorry, everyone. Yep, Orrin and Orson are still missing. Of the 800,000 children who are reported missing each and every year in the U.S., what percentage are eventually found and returned home? The answer is A, 99%. It's the 1% of the children who go missing each and every year that never return home, and the ones that everybody needs to pay attention to. It's high time that people start getting involved again. And they see something, say something. Don't ignore it anymore. See it all the time on the internet. Well, or on the news. Well, I saw it happening, but I don't want to get involved. Or not my place. It's not my kid. Well, it could be your kid next. What I tell everybody, Summer Wells. Yeah, she's still missing. That's question number 10. All right, question number 11. Which serial killer has the highest known tested IQ? Highest tested IQ. Is it A, Nathan Leopold, B, Albert DeSalvo, C, Dennis Nielsen, or D, Ted Bundy? Who had the highest tested IQ? Now, the part you need to pay attention there is tested. There are those who have higher IQs who have never officially been tested. Example is Ed Kemper. Ed Kemper has never really officially taken a complete IQ test. He has purposely tried to fail 2 IQ tests and has quit taking the test, but has never completed the actual test. Don't know. Christopher Watts. No, I doubt it's Christopher Watts. Which serial killer had the highest known tested IQ? Glowworm, welcome. How are you doing? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And the correct answer to this, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you the answer for what his actual IQ was tested at. He tested at between a 210 and 230. Right in there is where his IQ test came out at. That's damn near brilliant. 210 to 230. I have never had an IQ test. I'm afraid my low score will lower the average and upset people. You're not that bad off, Moments in Training. He got caught in less than a day. Ooh. Never long enough, but yes, all good. How are you doing, Will? I'm doing good, Glowworm. I'm doing good. Looking forward to taking the week off. I'm going to relax and do just about nothing, really. 200 is genius level. It's up there. But the his course was between 210 and 230. My dad had me tested when I was very young. It was pretty high, but I rather think it's gone down since. Jenny, I don't think it's gone down. Am I taking vacation, Glowworm? I am. I have all my work for this week has already been uploaded to YouTube, and it's set to premiere at a certain time throughout the week. I will not be anywhere near an internet service to do true crime trivia next weekend, or do most likely do the Saturday morning, general chat. I'm gonna hope I can get, I can do the one on Saturday, but my friend is trying to find or get a hold of something called an internet Wi-Fi repeater or something like that. We're hoping, but it may not happen. So I may not have any live streams at all next weekend. I have to get away. IQ fluctuates. Mine was 142. I've never had mine tested. I was tested recently at a 135, Brooke. Were you? That's cool. All right. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is A, Nathan Leopold. IQ was tested between 210 and 230. They figure if Ed Kemper was to actually sit down and complete, if you take the two that he actually didn't complete and you put them both together and you cross the reference, the questions that he did answer on the one and didn't answer on the other, his IQ would be right around 190 to 185, right in there is where his IQ would be tested out at. But he's never completed one actual IQ test in his entire life. He plays games with them because, well, he doesn't care. All right, question number 12. Bleep. Bleep was man's best friend. Who was the owner of Bleep the dog? A, Jeffrey Dahmer. B, John Wayne Gacy. C, Peter Sutcliffe. Or D, Dennis Nielsen. Who was the owner of Bleep the dog? My sisters are both PhDs, but married big-time losers who spent time in jail. They made fun of me marrying Eka Nerd, but who's sorry now? Quick question. The side note, Zelda. Me and my wife, we have a close family friend who he is a DO, medical doctor, but he's a DO. And he's married to a meth head. He is a brilliant man and he's been working in not medical practice wise, like family practice anymore. For the last 30 years, he's been setting up medical laboratories across the United States, and he works for the governing board that oversees medical laboratories for for doctors' offices and hospitals and stuff like that. But his wife is a complete meth head. She's just out there. She even tried to kill him once by running him over with a car because he wouldn't give her any more money to buy drugs. But he's a brilliant man. He's married to this lady. Who's out there? I forgot to turn my phone off. Sorry, everyone. Turn it off now. Power off. Power off. Good night, Samsung. There was a patient married to Ert Noyes, doctor. You're no stroke doctor. She came into the ER, a few Vicodins stuck up her nose. So stupid. Bundy is so manipulative. I guess that doesn't transcribe into intelligence. No. All right. Question number 12. Who was the owner of Bleep the Dog? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is D as in dog, Dennis Nielsen. Dennis Nielsen's dog was named Bleep, spelled just like it is there. Bleep the dog. Question number 13. Elaine Wuornos had a history of petty crimes. In 1974, she was arrested for what? Even though she had outstanding warrants for more serious. That's supposed to be serious, not severe. I should have read this one before I posted it online. But what was she? She had warrants for more severe crimes at that time. Was it A, murder, B, arson, C, bank robbery, or D, DUI? Was she arrested for in 1974? I'm just glad Gacy didn't have a dog. He had cats. John Wayne Gacy. He had a black and white cat that he called Tuxedo because he said that the color of the markings looked like a little tuxedo on a cat. But he did have a cat. Or maybe the cat was his wife's. Because don't forget, Gacy was married. So he was married the whole time he was having, all that unprotected sex with all those young men before he killed them and stuffed them underneath the house. Serial killer who lived in an apartment in the UK. He used the plumbing system of the building to dispose of his victims. Dennis Nielsen. Yeah. Killed most of his victims by choking them to death with a necktie. He would troll gay hangouts, clubs, gatherings to find his victims. Ooh, it looks like everybody's going with D for DUI for Elaine Wuornos. One is Farrell named Liberace. The other is Felix, the wonderful tuxedo cat. I forgot all about that, Zelda. That is your cat's names. Huh. Hi, Carrie. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, Carrie. Thank you for joining us tonight. Question number 13. Elaine Wuornos had a history of petty crimes. Obviously, the question's wrong here. I'll correct it in a second. In 1974, she was arrested for what? Even though she had outstanding warrants for more severe crimes. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is D for DUI. Chris, I'm trying. I really am. My daughter is actually helping me set up Discord right now. I've used Discord before. I have it. but I don't use it because I had issues with it, like logging back in. And they kept on telling me that the information was already assigned to another account, but we're working on that, and we're also working on trying to see if we can move the trivia night from YouTube to what is it? It's another service. I can't remember what the name of it is now. Yeah, well, it's using EOS on something. All right, question number 14. What state expressively outlaws consenting adults over the age of 18 from lewd and lascivious behavior prior to marriage? Is it A, Alaska, B, West Virginia, C, California, or D, Oregon? What state expressly outlaws consenting adults over the age of 18 from lewd and lascivious behavior prior to marriage? Well, I'm using StreamYard right now. You should see the little duck symbol in the upper corner. No, it's I my head is just filled with so many different things right now. When it comes to like all these streaming services and different platforms. I'm so lost when it comes to so much of this internet. I really am. I'm an analog man living in a digital world. I run my business here in front of you and everybody, here on this digital platform. But when it comes to anything social media wise or streaming, if I don't have a cheat sheet in front of me right here, I wouldn't know how to do half of this stuff. Oregon, your state is a little odd. Yeah. Do you still have those lives, James Taylor? Saturday morning? Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to have one this coming Saturday, but yes, James. Every Saturday morning, we do it's a general chat. There's no topic. We talk about anything and everything on the Saturday morning. You're diagonally parked in a parallel universe. Where have I heard that before? But it's a great saying, though. I like that. Oregon sucks. We're all the crazies rotting every writing every sentence. Yeah. All right. What state expressly outlaws consenting adults over the age of 18 from lewd and lascivious behavior prior to marriage? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B. Call in the cat lady. Change just in time. B. West Virginia. I have to try and find it on your channel somewhere. Gotta run. Can't wait to chat again. Good night. Bye, James. You take care and have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you for stopping in tonight. All right, question number 15. Louis Blast trademarked and copyrighted the name cheeseburger, even though he didn't invent it. What state did he live in when he did this? Now, I had to put the initials for the different states because there wasn't enough room. So is it A, California, B, North Dakota, C, Colorado, or D, Alabama? I think AL is Alabama, right? I'm not sure. I think so. AL, Alabama. What state did he live in? Louis Blast trademarked and copyrighted the name Cheeseburger. My internet is being screwy. I'm sorry, Starfire. You got it right. I figured it would be an old law, so I went with the oldest state. West Virginia, it's called an old blue law. A blue law. You stay safe out there, James. What state? And by the way, you cannot trademark or copyright the name Cheeseburger anymore. It actually went all the way through the court system, and I think it was the state that he actually lives in. They threw out the copyright and trademark, and they said that the word cheeseburger is in the public domain, so it can't be trademarked or copyrighted. But this guy actually did it, Louis Blast. Copyrighted and trademarked the name Cheeseburger. Elaine, welcome. Glad you could be here tonight. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for stopping by tonight. What state did this weirdo live in? Brother. We did have this question before, did we? Oh, I'm sorry about that, Pippin Dot. I really am. Did not know this one came up before. Cheeseburgers in Paradise. Little Jimmy Buffett with my French fried potatoes. I did. I had a pretty relaxing weekend. All right. The correct answer is C, as in cat, Colorado. You lived in Colorado. He trademarked and copyrighted the name Cheeseburger. It worked its way all the way through to the Colorado State Supreme Court, and they actually told him, no, you cannot copyright something that is in the public domain. It is a generic term for a sandwich, and you cannot copyright it. But he actually got it copyrighted. He owned the copyright for about, I think, a year. And he was trying, but he had done it on purpose, and it was to make money. He wanted to force anybody that put the word cheeseburger on their menu, like fast food, restaurants, stuff like that. And he started sending out extortion letters, basically, to anybody that had cheeseburger on their menu, saying, you need to pay me for because I own the copyrights and you're using my trademark. So it's when you did states trivia. It's been a while since I did states trivia, but thank you. I'll go back and look through it. I hope there's no more on here that come from that list. All right. Question number 16. Which U.S. family more than tripled their net worth during the 1920s Prohibition? Was it A, the Kennedys, B, the Rockwells, C, the DuPonts, or D, the Disneys? Which U.S. family more than tripled their net worth during the 1920s Prohibition? Hi, Amy. Welcome to True Crime Trivia, Amy. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. more than tripled their family's net worth during Prohibition. I did. I had a pretty relaxing weekend. Got a lot done. Got ready for this week. All my work is done, and I'm going to take off, and I'm going on vacation. No, not cheeseburger question, number 14. Which U.S. family more than tripled their net worth during the 1920s Prohibition? There's some pretty powerful families there. The Kennedys, the Rockwells, the DuPonts, and the Disneys. Amy, I'm going to Moses Lake, Washington. Then I'm going from Moses Lake, Washington to Centralia. And then I'm going to Snoqualmie. It's like in the Cascades. I'm staying in state, but I'm going to go visit friends who I haven't been able to see in over a year because of the shutdown, for the COVID shutdown and all that. So it's probably been about a year and a half since I got to see them. But we're finally able to get together and actually, do something where we're not having to worry about, everything going on. Sarah, you're changing your answer to C, the DuPonts. I'm guessing Chris, DuPonts is like the DuPont corporation family behind that. I don't know. We'll do a trivia about crazy laws like Sunday blue laws. Crazy laws still on the books. When I sold real estate, the deed said no colored Mexican or Orientals allowed out after dark. You'll try to find it. Oh, there's a lot of old laws that a lot of people really don't want to find out, especially when it came to after World War II and how we actually set up, as people moved out of the cities into, these bedroom communities that we have, the redlining, like how far they would actually allow people of other ethnicities, in colors other than white, returning, soldiers who were African American or Native American or, Asian. They fought for this country just right alongside their fellow white brothers, in arms. And when they came back home to try to use their GI Bill and to get home mortgages, they didn't want to. So many laws like that. They were written out. They wouldn't give federal money to development of the suburbs if they were going to give mortgages out to other people. They kept the suburbs white on purpose. And it's sad. It's a part of the American history that a lot of people should actually read up and learn about. But which U.S. family more than tripled their net worth during the 1920s Prohibition? Ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer is A. The Kennedy family more than tripled their net worth during Prohibition. It was a house a few blocks from Portland Adventist Hospital. The house deeds all said no after sundown or 8 p.m. Wow. Huh. There's a cop on YouTube that does weird state laws. That is question number 16. Would they get life in prison for trying to predict the future? All right, question number 17. What is the number one hobby of serial killers? Serial killers have hobbies just like other people. Is it A, pottery, B, painting, C, music, or D, dancing? What is the number one hobby of serial killers? I will, Amy. I'm so looking forward to just relaxing and kind of clearing my mind. Taking a stay vacation forever. Lots of bees. What is the number one hobby of serial killers? I ain't no serial killer, but my hobby is music. And it didn't give any, like parameters for this question. Is this their hobbies before they were arrested? Is it their hobbies once they went to jail? I don't know. My bunk could only survive a weekend, and then I would be ready to pull my hair out. So maybe. Diana is going with B, painting. I have heard some paint, but then I hear some like music, like the music gets blamed. What is the number one hobby of serial killers? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B, as in boy, painting. Painting is the number one hobby of serial killers. And again, it did not give any parameters to, if this was before they got caught or afterwards and once they're in prison or what. It just said that it was painting. My bunch, with all the arguing after the weekend, so I can imagine going anywhere for more than 3 days. Oh, well. All right, question number 18. Which serial killer joked with police that he wished the media would have picked a better nickname for him? Which serial killer joked with police that he wished the media would have picked a better nickname for him? The A, Mikhail Popkov. I'm guessing if I'm even pronouncing that even close to correct. B, John Wayne Gacy. C, Gary Ridgway. Or D, Jeffrey Dahmer. Which serial killer joked with police that he wished the media would have picked a better nickname for him? Like people have Manson's and Sons and Sam Art. They sell serial killer art. There's a huge market out there for collectibles that are from serial killers. As disgusting as it is, there are museums. There are whole cottage industries that spring up just around serial killers and people who kill famous people. Popkov is a werewolf. Is he a werewolf? I'm guessing if I'm even pronouncing, is that how it's pronounced? Popkoff? I don't know. Jodi Arias sells art. Does she? Memorabilia? Yeah. The huge out there. There's an entire industry, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I have gone down that rabbit hole, and it will really surprise you. They have a complete internet chat rooms where these people talk about the things that they've collected from each other, or bought and traded and sold it. They have auction formats. They used to sell stuff on eBay, but eBay started kicking their shit off the platform. So they can't sell on eBay now. So now they own their own little auction sites where they trade and sell this stuff. It's sick. And yes, there are Christopher Watts items that do appear on these things, where people went there and went through the trash, that was at the house before, they were able to clean it out, and they supposedly have trash from the home. Popkoff sounds like vodka. That's what I was thinking too, Starfire. Yeah, he doesn't have a ton of hair in the photos I saw, but they call him the werewolf, so not sure why. There are people out there really into that stuff. Yeah, definitely. Which serial killer joked with police that he wished the media would have picked a better nickname for him? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B. John Wayne Gacy. He did not like that the media started calling him the killer clown. He didn't like it. He wanted them to pick a different nickname for him. John Wayne Gacy. They have been unable to sell it, so it's like stuck in limbo. Oh, the Christopher Watts home. Yeah, they're not even trying really right now to effectively move the house. They're using it as a tax write-off right now. The bank is. It's part of a package of bad debts that they have. So they're getting their money. So there's no real hurry for the bank to try to sell it. There has been a lot of interest in the home, though, by different hedge funds that want to package it together with others, bad debts, if they are able to sell it. So it will eventually sell. I know some people want to bulldoze it, turn it into a park. I see it all the time online. Would you want to live in a house that where something like that took place? My house was built in 1944. I have no idea what the hell happened in this place before I lived here. But homes, there are real estate agents out there that specialize. They call them distressed properties if a violent crime has happened in them, and they only have to tell the next owner. They don't have to tell the 2, 3, 4 owners down the road that that Christopher Watts killed his his wife in that house. So once it's changed hands once, they don't have to tell anybody in the state of Colorado. Some states you do have to disclose it at closing, but not in Colorado. Gianna Marie, I'm late. I will watch in replay. Hello, Gianna Marie. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, moving on to number 19. Doing too much of this. Need to do more of this. All right, question number 19. Born to be wild. William Billy the Kid Bowden killed all his victims along U.S. highways. Which state did he kill in? A, Florida, B, Alaska, C, California, or D, Maine? Born to be wild. William Billy the Kid Bowden. Bowden? I don't know. Bone. in, killed all his victims along U.S. highways. A haunted B&B probably is rumored to be haunted by the girls. You couldn't live in a home where such evil took place. Oh, the Morphew home, yeah, that one's going to go quick. You have no idea just how crazy nuts the actual market is where the Barry's home is. It is crazy nuts there. The average listing for the area where Barry Morphew's home is, an average listing lasts less than 3 weeks total from the time that it's listed to the time that it's closed. 3 weeks. That's, I mean, ridiculous. A short amount of time that things are selling that quick there. And the same thing with where the Watts home is. They can't build the homes fast enough for the oil workers in that area. Yeah, it's Brook and Justice. I forget the name, but a couple is doing just that, buying those houses and then flipping them. But with the home like the Watts home or the Morphew home, you might, if you can prove that that Suzanne was killed, Barry killed Suzanne in the home. If you can get a good savings on the home, you might only couple might get like $100,000 under what the market value is, but it's still going to sell for a ridiculous amount of money. What's the name of it again? What's the name of what? I think the first part of his name is pronounced Bond, as in Bonds. Bonin? William Billy the Kid Bonin? Could be. Probably is that, because there's nothing to make the O sound its name. It's not its name, Bone. There's no E or anything there, so probably Bonin. You're probably right. Has the Watts home sold yet? No. No, Mary, it has not. It is currently still in limbo. The bank is using it as a bad debt write-off. They are writing off the depreciation of the value as a package of uncollected debts. So when it does sell, the proceeds from the home minus what the bank is owed, will whatever's left over will go to the Ruschek family. All right. What state did William Billy the Kid Bonin kill all his victims along U.S. highways? The correct answer is C, California. California. All right, question number 20. You're a bad, bad man, Mr. Madoff. We hereby sentence you to blank years in federal prison. Is it A, 1,000 years, B, 100 years, C, 150 years, or D, 250 years? You're a bad, bad man, Mr. Madoff. That area Shannon was in is beautiful. A park would fit well there. With a sign honoring the kids would be great. Yeah, but there's no money in it for the bank, though. And you have to think about the bank. The bank doesn't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about the Ruscheks or anybody else. They're in it to make money for their stockholders. They're not. I mean, it might be the most popular idea is that and it would help keep the value of the homes nearby up. Hey, look, I want to buy that house. There's a park across the street. It may be a small park, but it's a park, right? That would make sense to me and you, but it ain't gonna make a damn bit of sense to the bank, because the bank can't sell something that that is basically a park, and then who's gonna pay for the tearing of the house down? The bank. They ain't gonna be the Ruscheks. certainly ain't going to be the Watts family. I mean, it's nothing that a $3 worth of gasoline could cure. Burn that sucker down. Run to the sunshine. The Watts house is probably haunted. Maybe. It all depends on if you believe in hauntings. William H. Bonney, New Mexico, not California. Jeanette Clark. Welcome. Hope you both had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us tonight. I still remember the Madoff's interview where he was bragging about his fund had no exposure to subprime. He forgot to mention that he had exposed to anything because he had no investments, right? You have to know all those people who were in his actual trading, who worked there, they had to know that there was something really fishy going on. Could you imagine going to work every day and all these hundreds of millions of dollars were coming in, but where the hell was the money going? Will, do you think the little girls were killed before Shanann? No. Stephanie, to answer your question, I think he did it. He killed Shanann, and then he killed the girls. This is true. But I don't think that it was necessarily that she allowed him to kill her with no defense wounds. I don't think that she had much of an option to fight back. Now, just picture this: if she's in bed and she's sleeping, she's probably got, I don't know what they call those things on beds, a blanket or a sheet over the top of her. Let's just say that she had a sheet over the top of her. And he straddles her with a leg on each side of her with a sheet. How is she going to defend herself if her arms are underneath that blanket or sheet? Would she have defensive wounds on her then? And she was pregnant, yep, with baby Nico. It's extraordinarily hard to try to wrap your head around that. How anybody could do that to their children. I'll never be able to understand that, and I hope to God I never will be able to. If I become that jaded where I can actually start to understand and rationalize how somebody could hurt a child, any child, will kill them. That's time for me to hang up my channel right then and there. I never want to get that jaded. Yeah. But either way, whatever way it happened, he's never going to tell us the truth. He's never going to tell us exactly how it happened, why it happened, why he did it. He's going to give us, his version of what he thinks everybody wants to hear. As gruesome as it is, he's only going to tell us what he wants to tell us. Because he's a compulsive liar. He's a narcissist. The choked sleeper holds renders one unconscious in 4 seconds. Is what Chris Watts did to Shanann. It's what I think because of her neck surgery. Could be. You're a bad man, Mr. Madoff. How long was Mr. Madoff sentenced? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is C, as in cat. He was sentenced to 150 years in the federal pound him in the butt prison. That's from Office Space. Not a homophobic remark. The plane, as Tattoo would say, drove Ted Kaczynski crazy. What state did he live in when he started mailing out bombs? Was it Oregon, Idaho, Montana, or Maine? The plane. Oh, I worked in an office, and you would not believe just how close that actually is. The job I worked before I quit to do this full time, I worked in an office. I didn't have 5, like Peter Gibbons did, but I had 4. I had 4 bosses who would come to me, and anytime somebody in my department screwed up, that was the one thing that we wanted to do, was just avoid hearing from 4 different people over and over again about how something went wrong. MTC. I'd like to poke his eyes out, Will. Yeah. Mr. Rourke was played by Ricardo Raff of Khan. Ricardo from Wrath of Khan. Oh, didn't know that. Moments in Train. I haven't seen any of them. I have no desire to see any of them. I'm pissed off that they used my likeness in the Lifetime, and they, little video clip of me. They did it all without ever asking me. I got no compensation for it. They never asked me. Nothing. I was used in the trailer and the print material for the Lifetime movie, the documentary, as they called it. You would have jumped out the window at that job. Yeah, it's nuts. I don't miss the job at all. I miss the money. Ricardo Montalban? Was it him? Really? In my opinion, Cindy Watts is one that taught him to have a personality. She starred this, Broken Justice. You ever watched the interview that's on my channel? Cindy Watts. Just think that if you have, that's the most tamed interview that she's given. She's given some really horrific ones. She just won't shut her mouth. She just keeps on talking. Wow, Lifetime movie sucks. Hated this movie. Way too cheesy. He was the original Ricardo Montalban. What about his dad? Christopher Watts' dad. He's a pacifist. He lets Cindy just roll all over him. She convinced him not to go to the wedding, convinced him not to go to the funeral. Now he's passive. Okay, the plane, as Tattoo would say, drove Ted Kaczynski crazy. What state did he live in? He lived in the great state of Montana. C again. C is the correct answer. She's a bully, and she knows that she can get her way. Can you imagine? Just a side note though, can you imagine just how pissed she should have been, or probably was, that and how hurt she was when Christopher Watts, when they were going to get him to confess, they flew his dad out there and not his mom. Can you imagine what that must have been like? Hey, we have your dad here. That must have really just lit a fire under her ass. Because it's her family. She's always run that family. All right, question number 22. The third longest Summer Olympics took place in Missouri, USA. How long did it take to finish the games? The third longest Summer Olympics. Did it take A, a year, B, 5 months, C, 8 months, or D, 2 years? How long did it take to finish the Summer Olympics when it was held in Missouri? She is. I knew that one too. I've gotten a lot of questions correct for once. Well, good. In case you're wondering about the what was 1 and 2 for the longest Summer Olympics, the first Summer Olympic Games was the longest one. It actually took 2.5 years for the very first Summer Olympics. The number 2 most longest Summer Olympics was in Paris. Number 3, Missouri, USA. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you can be here to hang out with us and play True Crime Trivia, and I'm glad you enjoy the content that I put out. The third longest Summer Olympics. How long did it take to finish the games? Excuse me. Stephanie, okay, A. Whoever made the decision to fly Christopher Watts' dad out instead of his mom must have had some insight into the family dynamics. Normally, you'd want the guy's mom. Well, they must have had some kind of insight there. But you just think about that. She's been running that family since before he was ever born. It's always been her family, and everything's always happened on her when she wants to do things. And they go and they get him, the dad, instead of her. Ooh, boy. Could you imagine what it was like for him to say, look, they want me to fly out to Colorado? Bam. I guess 2 years, assuming weather or something made it take 2 years. The third longest Summer Olympics took place in Missouri, USA. How long did it take to finish the games? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B, as in boy. It took 5 months to finish the Summer Olympics. This was the 1904 Summer Olympics, by the way. And during the actual marathon, the cross-country marathon race itself, there were individuals who cheated, who some took taxis from halfway through the race. They took a taxi and then the taxi dropped them off, and then they ran back into the stadium to finish the race. There were people who went to a movie, I'll go watch a movie or a play or something, and they joined the race back up, and then they finished out the race. There was one guy who actually took 4th place in this Summer Olympics in that event, who ran halfway and then took a nap. He took a nap. And then as the runners were coming back by, they woke him up and he joined the group back up and ran back into the stadium and still finished 4th. He only ran half the race. But the 1904 Summer Olympics in Missouri. Excuse me. All right. In 1904, Missouri Olympics was filled with fraud. Oh boy, was it. What sporting event had judges not even bother showing up because the mob paid them not to? And these are all real Summer Olympic events that were held at the 1904 Summer Olympics. Tug of war, the long jump, roquette, or the pole vault. The 1904 Missouri Summer Olympics was filled with fraud. What sporting event had judges not even bother showing up because the mob paid them not to? Well, the very first Summer Olympics, took over 2 years. Algarad. Algarad? I'll look into it. Started out as a normal kid named John. What 1904 Missouri Olympic sport was filled with fraud? So much fraud that the judges didn't even bother showing up because the mob paid them not to. That's an amazing long time ago. Yeah, it was. Just went to work like normal. Wow. Alicia, welcome. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm glad you could join us tonight. Deb does readings. Hi, Deb. Welcome to the trivia tonight. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us tonight. 1904 Missouri Olympics was filled with fraud. What sporting event had judges not even bother showing up because the mob paid them not to? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is C, roquette. It's the one and only time that it was in an Olympic sport. Yes, by the way, the long jump was in its 3rd year of an Olympic sport. Tug of war was in the Olympics before then, and it was around for several years afterwards. And the pole vault has been around forever. Well, or some variation of the pole vault. Good. I'm glad you did, Deb. But roquette. I'm probably mispronouncing that. But anyways, it's C is the correct answer. All right, question number 24. Who can take the sunrise, sprinkle it with dew, cover it with chocolate, and a miracle or two? The Candyman can. All of Dean Corll's crimes were what? A, arson, B, bank robbery, C, rape, or D, murder. Who can take the sunrise, sprinkle it with dew, cover it with chocolate, or a miracle or two, the Candyman can. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Leave It to Beaver. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Hey, Will, chat, just saying hello. Hey, hope everyone's doing well. I am. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it. You stay safe out there, Beaver. Thank you again. Wow, haven't played in years. Yeah, it was the one and only time that it was an Olympic sport. I think it wasn't until 19, I want to say 20 or 24, somewhere in there, right after the Great Depression, that the Olympics is when they started initiating trial sports for Olympic events. But up until then, if like 5 countries all decided, yeah, we're going to do this, and they would just put forth, we've got people who want to play this sport. They just did it. There was no like, oh, okay. They just did it. That was an Olympic sport. If they didn't have enough people to do to show up to do rowing, longboat rowing, they just didn't do it. They just skipped it. Oh, sorry about all the other countries who were waiting, that who wanted to do it, or showed up to do it. We don't have enough teams, so forget it. What were all his crimes? All of Dean Corll's crimes were what? He killed boys and men, right? Wow. It's 9 p.m. It's still hot here in Oregon, 85. It is 91 here, Zelda. Glad it wasn't 120 like last month. Yeah. It's 91 degrees here at 8:57, obviously, same time zone as you. But what were all of Dean Corll's crimes? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is D, as in dog. Who can take the sunrise, sprinkle it with dew, cover it with chocolate, or a miracle or two? The Candyman can. Number 25, the Candyman can. Actor Gene Wilder played the role of an innocent man convicted of a crime wrongfully how many times? A, 1, B, 5, C, 4, or D, 7? How many times did the Candyman Gene Wilder play the role of an innocent man convicted of a crime wrongfully? Did you know that Gene Wilder's his estate still funds foundation that brings awareness to cancer. He founded it after the foundation after his wife, was it Gilda Radner, died of cancer. But the foundations, it's like they have a nonprofit entity to them, but they still fund information, getting the word out on different types of cancer. Gene Wilder in anything but comedy is weird. I loved him and his wife Roseanne Dan. So sad he loved her so much. Ovarian cancer, yeah. Well, she died of ovarian cancer, but it's not just ovarian cancer that they help fund getting the awareness out for. It's there are like 3 or 4 different cancers, but ovarian is like the foundation where it was originally started around. Gilda Radner was on Saturday Night Live. Yes. That's classic Saturday Night Live, though. Gilda Radner, you know, think of the cast they had back then. Dan Aykroyd, you know, John Belushi, Steve Martin, Gilda Radner. I mean, that's just some of them. You liked Hanky Panky? Did he? I know he had one victim that lived. I wasn't sure if there was more than one, but I picked the question. I added the Candyman lyrics to the first part of it. But was she part? She was part of the original cast. Bill Murray. Yeah, another one. Read their book about her cancer saga. Andy Kaufman was on back then too. I think Andy Kaufman was a freaking genius. He was so far ahead of what he was doing. He had so many different personas that he played in different people that he when he got into a spirit of a character that he was going to do, he was in it. He was sold on it, and you couldn't get him out of that character. Boone's Ferry strawberry wine, 99 cents a liter. Jane Curtain. But that really is a classic Saturday Night Live, though. I mean, there have been some good actors, comedians on Saturday Night Live over the years, but it's just never been that hard hitting, and pushing the envelope. Yeah. With her hair all frizzy, chewing gum, acting stupid, never mind. I met Gilda at the Kennedy Center in 1981. Did you? Wow, Mary. That'd be cool. I know Gene Wilder actually. He had what was it non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I think he beat the whatever he had, and then he died of something else later on. But anyways, the Candyman. Actor Gene Wilder played the role of an innocent man convicted of a crime wrongfully. How many times? Number 25. The correct answer is 5. 5 times. B is the correct answer. Robin and Chris, definitely great. Oh, yeah. can't beat Chris Farley. Robin Williams, the Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd, and John Belushi. Bill Murray. I'd like to meet Bill Murray. I think he'd be a fun one to talk to. All right, number 26, In God We Trust. Mega churches across the U.S. bring in, on average, $6.5 million per year each. How much did these mega churches average during COVID? These are in millions. The numbers in front of you there. Is it 6.9 million, 8.5 million, 7.5 million, or D, 5.5 million? Mega churches across the United States bring in an average $6.5 million each per year. Garrett Morrison. Oh, I forgot all about Garrett. I miss Robin most. George Carlin was so awesome. He was the first great on Saturday Night Live in 1975. I think it was absolutely tragic that the way we lost to Robin Williams. So. Real Duct Tape Bandit, guys. I'm just here listening quietly. I'm a bit sad tonight, but I did hit the thumbs up besides entering per usual. I love you all. You too will. I hope you have a lovely, fantastic weekend. I will. Thank you, Duct Tape Bandit. I'm sorry you're feeling a little bit down to the dumps tonight. Lift your head up. Just remember, it gets better. Number 26. How much did the megachurches average and money brought in during the COVID shutdown or COVID? The correct answer is A, 6.9 million. They saw just a slight bump in average donations total overall for megachurches. Okay, now, I'm telling you right now, the next question is related to this one, and I have not had the time to verify it. So take it with a grain of salt, okay? I don't know if this is even true or who these people are who say this, all right? I just picked the two questions because they were related. Question number 27. Historians believe God killed about 25 million people in the Bible. How many people did Satan kill? A, 10, B, 30, C, 60, or D, 40? Again, I have not had a chance to actually look through this at all and verify it at all, the answer or the question. I have the record seven words you can't say on TV. I have probably 5 or 6 of the George Carlin records. My favorite album that he did, stand-up comedy album that he did, was Class Clown. $40 is a biblical number, I think. I don't know. I did not have a chance to look into this one at all. I'm right there with you, Stephanie. I didn't have a chance to look into it. I was meaning to, but I never got a chance to. I picked the two questions off of there because they were related to each other. I thought the megachurch one was kind of interesting because I was like, damn, that's a lot of goddamn money from one church per year to be bringing in. I know for our, like our local Catholic church, we have to have like a summer festival. We have to have, then we have the private school, that's attached to it, tuition. We have to do so much to keep the actual church, open and operating to cover its costs. And some years it's really hard to actually, we're not trying to make a profit. We're just trying to get by and, and survive and put money away for a rainy day. But we have to do all these fundraisers and everything else just to make it go of it. And then I was like, damn, these churches are bringing in $6 million or a year. Ooh, shit. Bye, Cheryl. Gotta get up early. Enjoy your live. Good night, everybody. You take care, Cheryl. Thank you again for stopping in and playing with us tonight. You have a terrific week ahead. All right, question number 27. The correct answer is C, 60. And the note that I wrote down here is 10 just from the bet that he took in the book of Jobs, where he bet God in the book of Jobs. He killed 10. The devil killed 10 right there. That was the notes that it had with it. Again, I didn't look any farther into that than that. Okay, question number 28. Where can you find the statue of John Wilkes Booth's brother, Edwin Booth? Where can you find the statue of John Wilkes Booth, brother, Edwin Booth? A, Lincoln Park. B, Newbury Park. C, St. Elmo Park. Or D, Gramercy Park. Where can you find the statue of John Wilkes Booth, brother, Edwin Booth? The church lady? Who could make you do that? Could it be Satan? Dana Carvey as the church lady? I always kind of wondered what it would be like to be related to John Wilkes Booth. Jenny says it's in Gramercy Park. D, total guess. D. A, maybe? Question mark? Wayne's World. Party on. Wayne and Garth. Oh, I used to watch a lot of television. And now I don't watch any at all. Where can you find the statue of John Wilkes Booth's brother, Edwin Booth? Good night, Deb. Thank you for playing with us tonight. You have a terrific week ahead. My all-time favorite SNL sketch was when they redid the Beverly Hillbillies as Bel Arabs. I don't think I've ever seen that one. A friend of mine lives around the corner from Dr. Mudd's house. Really? Huh. Well, the correct answer for this one, ladies and gentlemen, is D, Gramercy Park. Now, you have to understand that Edwin Booth and James Wilkes Booth, John Wilkes Booth, both of them were Shakespearean actors. And Edwin Booth, his career was actually cut short. He actually stopped acting and doing what his calling was for a good period of time after what his brother did. And then he didn't come back until much later on, and then he started acting again. But his career was completely disrupted by what his brother did. So, but there is an actual statue in Gramercy Park of Edwin Booth. Dana Carvey, I always think of him singing chopping up broccoli. All right, question number 29. Why was the drive-through window invented? Was it A, for the military, B, because Americans are fat and lazy, or C, a new law was passed and restricted the number of people inside of a restaurant, or D, it was an accident? Why was the drive-through window invented? I'm waiting to see the church people drink the Kool-Aid. Jonestown Massacre was not Kool-Aid. It was Flavor Aid, the generic version of Kool-Aid. And most of it was grape-laden cyanide. There are surviving members of the People's Temple. Jim Jones's church. Not all of them died down in Ghana. Some of them never actually made it there, and we're still here in California and are still around today. They don't practice underneath the People's Temple name, but they are still around. He had a disease which would have destroyed his brain, who he was, and he didn't want that. Why was the drive-through window invented? Yeah, I read something about it, Amy, about what were they ever able to prove what he had? Was it Parkinson's or something? I can't remember what it was, but doesn't matter. But it's still tragic that he went that way. They decided that was the way to similar to Parkinson. Either way, we at least we still get to look back and and enjoy the comedy that he did leave us. So there is that. Why was the drive-through window invented, ladies and gentlemen? The correct answer is A. It was done for the United States military. Bonus point if you can tell me who actually what franchise invented the drive-through window. Sir Thomas, yeah. Colleen the cat lady's got B. Little League. Army. Correct, Stephanie. You're the first one to chime in with the correct answer. McDonald's. It was actually the very first drive-through window was nothing more than a hole cut into the side of the building. There wasn't even a window. It was basically a hole the guy cut into the side of the building and then slapped a piece of board over it with a hinge. And then they'd have to swing it open in the morning, and then it was just open to the environment. Bugs or whatever could fly in. But because they were across the way from the entrance to a military base, where the actual first drive-through window was put into effect, the military officers could not, those who were in the military, would not come off the base to go to McDonald's to eat the food because they weren't allowed to go into the actual restaurant with their uniform on. So they would have to change out their uniform to go into McDonald's to get a burger. So they said, all right, we got a solution there. You don't even have to come in. What does Waco stand for? Over 1 billion sold. That required a window. I don't know. What does Waco stand for? Lewy body dementia. All right, question 30. Alfred Hitchcock, the writer and director, was frightened of what? Even though he featured this item in over 20 movies and stories. What was Alfred Hitchcock afraid of? Was it A, eggs, B, spiders, C, mice, or D, cars? Alfred Hitchcock, the writer and director, was frightened of what? Alfred Hitchcock Presents. I used to watch that. They used to have a show, like a TV program that was on at late at night. It used to be the Alfred Hitchcock. Then it was the Twilight Zone, and then it was the Outer Limits that played right after it. I loved watching that. They don't have it on anymore. Well, if they did, I wouldn't know where the hell they even find it now. When you were a kid, Amy? Thought it was the Birds. Alfred Hitchcock, the writer and director, was frightened of what? Even though he featured this item in over 20 movies and stories. Is it A, eggs, B, spiders, C, mice, or D, cars? He ain't coming out yet. Twilight Zone is on some streaming platforms. MeTV has them starting at 11 p.m. on weeknights, Karen. Wow. I didn't know that. I don't even know if we have access to MeTV. All right, Alfred Hitchcock, what was he afraid of? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is A, eggs. He called himself an oval octophobia or something, egg phobia. He didn't like eggs in any form. And in the 20 movies and things that he did with eggs, every time they had an egg as part of the script, either somebody was either eating eggs, or they filmed eggs, or there was an egg on the set. Somewhere along the lines, whenever they did it, Alfred Hitchcock would get up and excuse himself from the set. Whenever they did it, and then they would film that portion of it, and then he'd come back. That much of a phobia about eggs. Yep, did not like eggs at all. That's it. That's all 30 questions, ladies and gentlemen. If you like tonight's trivia, give it a thumbs up. Let the algorithm know that you enjoyed it. Ovophobia. You didn't get one today, Amy? I'm sorry. Good night, Elaine. Thank you for stopping in and playing True Crime Trivia with us tonight. You have a wonderful week ahead. I will, Amy. I will. Always give a thumbs up the moment I log in here. Well, thank you, Zelda. I appreciate it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap the things up there. We've been going for quite a while tonight. But I hope everyone enjoyed it. Please give us a thumbs up on your way out, if you would, please. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to be gone the rest of the week, pretty much. So I will be back Monday next week. Not Monday tomorrow, but a week from now. I will be back. So, and then there's videos and the other things that are happening along the way that are set to launch on different days. It's all been uploaded and scheduled with YouTube already. So I will not be responding to any comments though, because I will not have any cell service where I'm going to be. And I really don't want to. I need to take time off, and kind of clear my mind from all this. Try to figure out where I'm going with it all. Try to make some sense of it. This world is weird. Even if you can't get away, you have to, even if you just step away from where you are right now, even for an hour, do it. But I will, Karen. Thank you very much, everybody. Again, good night. Stay safe out there. Until next time.